Welcome to our channel, Asma English. Today, we're diving into a story that reveals the hidden truths behind social media, the fame, the illusions, and the reality most people never see. Social media can be exciting, fun, and inspiring, but it can also be overwhelming, misleading, and sometimes even lonely. Our story follows Ella, a young creator who dreams of being recognized, admired, and celebrated online. At first, she is just like any of us, scrolling through feeds, trying trends, and posting content, hoping someone notices her. But what begins as a simple desire for connection quickly evolves into a journey filled with viral moments, pressure, comparisons, and lessons about authenticity, self-worth, and the hidden cost of chasing likes. Throughout this story, you'll see how fame can feel sweet but hollow, how online appearances can hide real struggles, and how courage and honesty can transform not only your digital life but your real one too. So, sit back, relax, and get ready to follow Ella as she navigates the thrilling Chapter 1, The Rise. Ella had always dreamed of being noticed. From her small bedroom, surrounded by posters and notebooks, she imagined herself on screens, in videos, in front of people who admired her. At first, she was nothing but another face in the endless crowd of creators. She posted videos, stories, snippets of her daily life, and tried the latest trends, but none of them gained attention. She felt invisible, overlooked, and frustrated. One evening, out of sheer boredom, she recorded a short, unplanned clip of herself laughing at a small mishap during her day. She posted it without thinking. Within hours, something unexpected happened. The video went viral. Notifications poured in, likes, shares, comments, followers. Brands began reaching out. Strangers complimented her as if she had always existed in their lives. Ella felt an intoxicating rush, a dream realized in a way she had never imagined. Yet beneath the filters, the captions, and the carefully crafted posts, she felt a subtle emptiness. Every notification became a measure of her worth. She smiled for the camera, edited every detail, and built an online persona that everyone loved. But late at night, staring at her own reflection, she wondered who she truly was. Was she herself, or just a character for the world to admire? The thrill of fame was sweet but hollow, and she sensed that every like came with a hidden cost. Chapter 2, The Illusion. As her followers increased, so did the pressure. Ella meticulously curated her life online, outfits, makeup, locations, captions, all designed to impress, engage, and go viral. Her online world sparkled, radiant and perfect, but her real life was messy. Bills stacked on her desk, her apartment was cluttered, and the friends she once relied on felt distant, replaced by a digital crowd that never really knew her. One evening, scrolling through her profile, Ella felt a strange sadness. The persona she had created, perfect, cheerful, glamorous, was almost a stranger to her. She realized the truth. The applause from thousands of people online did not fill the void inside her. Likes were fleeting, they could disappear tomorrow. Yet she kept chasing them, trapped in a cycle of posting, editing, and performing. The more she curated, the less she felt authentic. She envied others' posts, comparing herself constantly, measuring her life against perfectly staged moments from creators who had long forgotten their own ordinary struggles. The online world was a stage where appearance mattered more than reality, and Ella had become both a performer and a victim of the illusion. One night, she tried something different. She posted a candid, unfiltered video about a small personal challenge she had been facing. Surprisingly, people responded positively, not with judgment, but with empathy. Ella realized that honesty, even small and imperfect, connected far more than flawless perfection. She felt a flicker of hope. Maybe she could find a way to balance her online persona with her real self. Chapter 3: The Comparison Trap. Ella soon realized she wasn't the only one chasing validation. Everywhere she looked, other creators flaunted their success, travels, and lifestyles. Their perfectly staged content flooded her feed, making her own achievements feel small in comparison. She began comparing herself constantly, measuring her life against snapshots of curated perfection. Every glamorous image, every viral video, became a mirror reflecting her insecurities. She wondered if she would ever measure up. Even her own followers, who praised her daily, seemed to amplify the pressure rather than soothe it. Social media wasn't just a stage anymore, it was a relentless competition. She remembered the early days, when posting felt like a hobby and joy came from creating rather than performing. Now, every post had to meet expectations, trends, and algorithms. The freedom she once felt had vanished, replaced by a silent anxiety that lingered behind every notification. One morning, after seeing yet another influencer boast about a trip she hadn't taken, Ella felt a wave of exhaustion and sadness. She realized the truth: the online world thrived on comparison, yet she had contributed to it herself. By showing only her highlight moments, she had unknowingly trained her audience to do the same. A spark of guilt mingled with determination. Maybe it was time to change. Chapter 4: Behind the Filters. Mia, Ella's close friend, had watched her transformation online with concern. One evening, she decided to speak up. "Ella," she said gently, "you're amazing online, but I miss the real you. The one who laughs at small mistakes, who worries sometimes, who doesn't always have a perfect day." Ella felt a pang of guilt. She had been hiding her doubts, her messy moments, and her vulnerabilities behind a perfectly polished persona for months, maybe years. Ella took a long moment to reflect. The glimmering posts, the filtered photos, the sparkling captions, they had become a performance, a character that she no longer fully recognized. Mia's words hit her: true connection comes from honesty, not just admiration or likes. People didn't need perfection, they needed authenticity. Encouraged by Mia, Ella took a daring step. She posted a story about a small personal struggle, a day when she felt overwhelmed and uncertain, moments when she failed or doubted herself. The reaction was unexpected. Followers responded with empathy, sharing their own experiences and offering encouragement. They didn't just like her post, they related to it, connected to it, and valued the truth she revealed. This moment marked a turning point. Ella realized that honesty resonated far more deeply than perfection. The applause and the numbers on her profile no longer dictated her worth. She understood that social media could be a tool for connection and growth, not just performance and approval. For the first time in months, she felt a sense of relief. She had glimpsed the freedom of being herself online, without pretense or fear of judgment. That night, lying in bed, she thought about the paradox of social media. It could isolate and overwhelm, yet also unite and inspire. The balance lay not in chasing attention, but in being willing to show the imperfect, human side of life. Dear learner, thank you for reaching this far in the story. Your dedication and attention means so much, and it's because of followers like you that these stories come to life. If you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe and stay with us, because the most important lessons are still coming. Before we continue, let's pause and reflect on a key insight from Chapter 4. Ella discovered that authenticity matters far more than perfection. The carefully curated posts, flawless images, and filtered stories may look perfect, but true connection is formed when we reveal our real selves. Life and social media often reward honesty, courage, and openness far more than appearances. Ask yourself this: who truly appreciates you for who you are, and not just for the version you present to impress others? Remember, authenticity builds meaningful relationships, while chasing perfection can create distance, stress, and loneliness. It's okay to show your struggles, embrace your imperfections, and share your real story. With that reflection in mind, let's continue the journey. Ella's story still holds many lessons, challenges, and moments of growth. Get ready to dive into Chapter 5, where she learns how to manage pressure, stay true to herself, and navigate the tricky waters of online life. Chapter 5, The Pressure Mounts. Even with her newfound clarity, the pressures of online life did not disappear. Trends changed rapidly, collaborations demanded her time, and followers expected constant updates. Each notification was a subtle reminder of the unspoken rule: produce, entertain, and never pause. Ella sometimes wondered if the freedom she had found would survive the weight of expectations. One evening, she stared at her notifications, thousands of likes, comments, and messages, and felt a surprising emptiness. The thrill that had once defined her online life had dulled. Fame, she realized, was not a permanent comfort. Every message of praise carried a hidden demand for more, for better, for bigger content. To regain control, Ella established boundaries. She began scheduling posts instead of reacting impulsively, dedicating time for personal reflection and journaling. She limited the hours she spent scrolling, and instead focused on creating content that genuinely resonated with her experiences and values. Slowly, the anxiety that had clung to her began to loosen. She learned an essential lesson: social media was a tool, not a master. Numbers did not determine her worth, and influence was measured not by attention, but by impact. By taking control of her engagement and choosing authenticity over constant performance, she discovered the power to define her own success. Social media became a platform for expression, for connection, and for sharing lessons learned along her personal journey. Chapter 6: The Hidden Costs. Even as Ella's audience grew, she became more aware of the hidden costs of online life. She observed creators around her who, despite their flawless appearances, struggled privately with anxiety, stress, and self-doubt. Behind every perfect post was a story unseen, a struggle concealed behind filters and captions. Ella realized that mental health was fragile in the digital world. Misinterpretations, jealousy, and silent judgment spread quickly. Even casual engagement could sometimes amplify insecurities. She knew she had to navigate carefully, both for herself and for those who followed her. Deciding to use her platform intentionally, Ella shared behind-the-scenes glimpses of her daily life, her struggles, and the lessons she had learned from mistakes. Not every post went viral, but the interactions became more meaningful. People appreciated her honesty, felt connected, and began to see her as more than just a famous creator. They saw her as a real person. Through this journey, she learned that popularity was fleeting, but authenticity endured. Influence was not about showing perfection, it was about courage, empathy, and inspiring others to embrace their own imperfections. The lesson was clear: online admiration could be superficial, but true impact came from being genuine, relatable, and courageous. Chapter 7: A Turning Point. Months later, Ella received a message from a young follower, hesitant but honest. They confessed they were struggling with self-esteem, constantly comparing themselves to others online. Ella felt a deep connection. She replied, sharing her personal story, the highs of viral success, the lows of private doubt, and the lessons she had learned. The conversation reminded Ella why she had started sharing content initially, not for fame, recognition, or validation, but to connect and inspire. Real influence, she realized, was measured not by views, but by the positive effect one could have on others' lives. For the first time in years, Ella felt that her online presence reflected her true self. She was still growing and learning, but now with intention and awareness. Each post became an opportunity to share insights, struggles, and triumphs with honesty. Social media transformed from a performance stage into a meaningful channel of communication, empathy, and guidance. Ella began to see her followers not as numbers, but as people each with their own stories, insecurities, and lessons. This shift in perspective brought freedom from constant comparison, from obsession with likes, and from the pressure to appear flawless. She had discovered that true digital influence was rooted in truthfulness and care. Chapter 8: Behind the Screens. Looking back, Ella understood the dual nature of social media. It could be intoxicating, addictive, and misleading, presenting an endless stream of illusions. But if used wisely, it could also foster connection, empathy, and growth. She had learned that likes, shares, and followers were temporary. What endured were the connections, the lessons shared, and the courage to remain authentic. Behind the screens, behind the filters and highlight reels, lay real human experiences, complex, messy, but meaningful. Ella smiled at her reflection one evening, feeling peace. She continued creating content, but this time, it was honest. She shared struggles, triumphs, and ordinary moments that mattered most. Social media had shifted from a stage of pretense to a mirror of reality, allowing her to inspire, teach, and connect genuinely. In honesty, she found balance, fulfillment, and freedom. The journey taught her that fame could shine brightly, but true value was in authenticity, empathy, and real connection. The digital world could be navigated safely, if one chose intention over impulse, and truth over appearance. Ella had finally discovered that the most meaningful influence came from behind the screens, where reality and honesty met courage and creativity. Thank you for staying with us until the end of this story. Throughout Ella's journey, we've not only explored the world of social media, viral fame, and hidden truths, but we've also learned important values together: patience, authenticity, self-awareness, and the courage to be true to ourselves. From her experiences, we can take a lesson that applies to our own lives. Chasing popularity or approval online can feel exciting, but it's honesty, empathy, and genuine connections that truly matter. Behind every screen, behind every filter, there's a reality that requires reflection and courage to navigate. Now, it's your turn. Think about this. How do you measure your self-worth online? Are you showing your true self, or just a version crafted for others? What steps can you take today to be more authentic in your online and offline life? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your answers and see how these lessons resonate with you. And remember, the journey doesn't end here. Keep practicing honesty, patience, and reflection in every part of your life, and you'll find that the lessons from Ella's story can guide you in real ways. Thank you for watching, learning, and growing with us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay connected for more inspiring stories and meaningful lessons.